From running on the treadmill of life to feeling overworked and unfulfilled, Bill Heinrich has an ability to get people out of their own way so they can thrive as nothing than life as changing. As a seasoned business executive and global entrepreneur, his signature program, True Life Purpose Now, is so effective that he actually guarantees the results. He turned around a struggling business with a profitable one in his 20s. He launched the Wisdom of the World film project, which featured Deepak Chopra and Bob Proctor. He also created record-setting real estate offices in the Western United States, and he helped clients double their income in less than a year and increase revenue by 400% and much more. He is a big money business success coach. Welcome to the program, Bill.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate it.
Well, I've met Bill, and he is as humble as he is successful. He truly believes in everything he talks about. So I want to ask you a lot about the program that you created. And this is one that helps people find their true life purpose, and you guarantee the results. And of course, that word guarantee, people say, yeah, right. So
hmm
how can you guarantee results for something like that?
That's a great question. Um, I'm not sure. I'll say this: I do guarantee my results. I've worked with hundreds of clients, and I've never given anyone their money back. So the process that I use, it's a combination of many things that I've learned over 25 years of personal transformation. As you know, Gail, we've had the opportunity to meet and speak and talk, and you get me, you get my authenticity, and I've put together a variety of different things that I've learned in my personal transformation. And the key out of all of it is the understanding our divine gifts is the ultimate, because we all come to earth with seven divine gifts. We all have the same seven gifts, and those gifts are compassion, creation, order, healing, authentic self-expression, truth, and power. And that when people say, how people say that we're like snowflakes,
Right.
right? Well, it's really true. And the thing that makes that is these gifts. We all have the same seven gifts, but we have them in different proportion. And the energy of those gifts comes directly from source. And what's happened is, what I found is everybody is blocking them. Literally, people do not know who they are. They are guessing. I have never found anyone who really knows who they are. I have found people who are really on their path, that are doing fantastic considering all the information they don't have. But when they really find out who they are energetically with these gifts, which I'm able to show people what they are, it changes their life in 60 minutes. I mean, it just completely changes their life, because it's about more about a feeling and their heart and soul than an intellectual perspective of who we are or what we're going to accomplish.
So what made you create this business? I mean, that helps people find their true life purpose. What made you decide this is what you wanted to do?
The reason that I decided, well, like everybody else, it's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. So it's our power and who we are that is more frightening than living in the struggle that people like to live in. What I found is this, is everybody talks about body, mind, and spirit, okay? But here's what happens. Our body, our physical, is in limitation. The spirit has no limitation. And what everybody does, if our body or physical was a PC, okay, running Windows, and spiritual is a Mac, people are always going up trying to run the spiritual with programs that won't run it, okay? And because of that, they aren't always getting the results. There isn't a clear understanding between the physical and the spiritual. And when I came across these divine gifts and started working with them a little over 4 years ago, like I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. But what happened was I started working with people with it, and it was fantastic, but they couldn't hold the energy, they couldn't hold the concept, they couldn't grasp it because of the limitation that we live in physical form. So I literally have created a whole coaching certification program around teaching people how to do this. And this program I launched last fall. I now have 45 coaches certified around the world. I'll be doing a couple more of the coaching certifications in March and April, so that we can really share it. But I've put together all of the elements that help ground it. And so once we do the work and people understand it, they have a way of hanging on to it, because the power, you've heard people say, you've got their mojo working, right?
Right.
Well, that's what your divinity is. You're ageless, you're timeless, you're effortless. I mean, you were with me a little while, and when I tell you that I don't work for a living, I know that you would understand that. I go play, I move energy, and it's the movement of energy of my divine purpose that creates everything in my life. So
Well,
I don't.
we talk about this a lot, Bill, on our programs, and that's the fact that we really know that part of living regret free is doing what you love, because then it is not
Right,
work; it is all
right,
play, and
right.
then you have a much lighter spirit. But there's also, I know that, and I know, because I heard you talk about this. You have some problems with the law of attraction. So tell us about that.
Well, I don't have any problem with the law of attraction. I think the law of attraction is fantastic. In fact, the law of attraction, when I heard about it at a very early on time, and as I began my spiritual quest over 25 years ago, was really fascinating to me. But as I've looked into it, in fact, I've just written a book on it called Clarity Has No Story. And
Uh-huh.
I have a great offer for all of your listeners. So before we finish, make sure that I get that offer to you. I want to give them all my book free.
Oh,
Okay.
wonderful.
But what I found was the law of attraction is one aspect of the universal laws. That's all it is. And it comes from the law of cause and effect. Okay. And really, it takes longer than in a short interview like this to explain all of it. But when you work with the universal laws, you have to work with all of them. You can't just work with one. It's not possible. It's like baking a cake with just flour. When you open up the oven and you look in the pan, it's not going to look too pretty if you haven't put the whole recipe together. So the law of attraction is true because everything's energy, but you need to use all the components of universal law. So in essence, what the law of attraction says is this, is we can attract anything we want into our life, right?
Correct.
Okay. But do you want to attract it or do you want to have it?
Well, yeah, that's making it work. Right.
Hello, yes. So
Yeah.
really, it's the law of wanting.
Yeah, that's true. It's very
Why
true.
not? Why not make it the law of manifestation? I
And
can attract. I
yeah,
can manifest anything I want.
well, a lot of people have trouble manifesting, Bill, I think.
Right.
I think that they 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 just can't get there. They just don't have the ability to see and shape what they want in their life. Maybe it's because they're not clear on what they want.
Well,
Because you
that's
say a lot of people are surviving instead of thriving. So
right.
so how would you change that?
Well, everybody's making decisions in their lives, Gail, based on who they aren't, not
So
on who they are.
tell us about that.
Well, we were brought up in we have our family of origin, geographic, environmental. I can go on and on and on. All the influences we have in our life, okay, from birth, right? But
Right.
all of the influences we have in our life are influences that come from they come from living in the physical, and that's limitation. So all of the influences coming into us are about survival. The universe doesn't survive, the universe thrives, okay? And the universe, when you create and want to create a manifestation or manifest something, it can't say no, okay? Well, it does say no, but it's in a different way. But it has to deliver. when I say it can say no in a different way, what the universe says is KNOW. It
Mm-hmm.
means to know. What
Mm-hmm.
we say is NO. I
Right.
mean, think about it. If the universe will deliver anything to you that you desire, okay, but you have to have a foundation for it to land on, number one, and you have to know how to allow it. And most people don't. They don't know
So,
how to allow
so
it.
what do you think the three biggest killers are that keep them in survival mode?
Well, number one is people are living outside of themselves, right? We're living according to other people's dictates. And when you're doing that, you're being controlled by others. The fact that working in the universal laws, you're working only in energy, okay? You are working in the non-physical. This is the metaphysical piece. It's all non-physical, but that's where it's at. It's been proven that everything in the universe is energy. It's been scientifically proven. E equals mc squared. And so it's learning to work with those energies. And the third area is to stay away from the distractions. Okay. And the distractions are the interruptions that you have in your life with other people, you know, the presidential elections, politics, a problem down the street, a problem in town, a problem in the family, something that's all these disruptions that go on. Okay. And what happens is people get locked into their attention rather than creating intentions. People are doing things in the physical, and when you get into do it from the non-physical side, you can move the energy and allow it to come in. And people are also, defensiveness is another area where people just keep themselves in prison, defending who they are and what they're doing and that it's okay because everybody's just trying to do the best they can. It's really there's a whole part of this that's really kind of funny and it's also very sad at the same time because
Yeah, I do think, of course, it's unfortunate that some people feel trapped by their job. They need the job for support, of their
Mhm.
family, themselves, and so
Right.
forth. And
Yes.
yet they don't like what they're doing.
Hmm.
They don't like their boss. They don't like,
Right. Right.
I mean, and they are really in survival mode.
Well, this, we were taught to survive. First of all, people that feel trapped by their jobs are not trapped by their jobs at all. They're trapped by their beliefs. They're trapped by their thoughts. They're trapped by sacred beliefs. They're living within the limitations that they've learned and are hanging on to it because it's physical. Because in survival, you've got to hang on to something physical. If I did this, things wouldn't work out or things wouldn't happen. It's it's really it keeps the freeways full in the morning. I know that for sure.
Well, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true. But you also say you don't believe in healing.
right.
So what do you mean by that?
Well, healing, as we know in our society, right, is the magic pill. And for the most part, what we've been taught, and it's really the healthcare in this country and the whole thing is I don't go into reaction much, but there's an area where I can get into reaction just because of the GMOs and everything else that, what survival money is driving. Wall Street is driving, and healthcare is another one. It's looking for the magic pill and getting fixed. When in fact, when you do that, you become a victim. You're putting your destiny in somebody else's hands. What I believe in is awareness, right? When you walk into the doctor and you say, there's something wrong, I have something in my stomach bothering me, he doesn't say, well, jump up on my table, take your clothes off, let me get a scalpel, and I'm going to go in and take a look, right?
Right?
He says, let me take an x ray, let me get some awareness to what's going on. Let's do an assessment of this, and then we'll see what's going to be best for you. But we rely on other people to do that for us. And when we start to create that awareness in our own life of what's controlling our lives and these beliefs that we have and what's going on inside of us, as you said, a big money business coach. I work with people all around the world, and we work in 5 different areas. We look at clarity and we look at direction, we look at environment, we look at their skills and we look at psychology,